Hello, I'm Nikita Morell, a copywriter and marketing strategist for architects, and welcome to day 10 of 30 architecture website fixes in 30 days. So today we're going to be looking at project descriptions and how to leverage your project descriptions so they not only inform, educate, and entertain your prospective clients, but convince them that your practice is right for them. And I've got loads of examples to share with you, so let's dive straight in. So to begin with, I want to point out a mistake I see very often, a mistake that makes me quite sad. And that is that architecture practices upload beautiful project images on their website, but then include project descriptions that are dull, uninspiring, inconsistent, or even non-existent. I believe your project description should be telling stories. People connect with stories. They're more meaningful and memorable than facts and statements. So rather than listing all the features of your project, make it interesting. Share your challenges, your philosophy, your design vision. And I get it, you're pushed for time. So sometimes the director of your firm might write up a description the next time a project architect does it, or even the graphic designer has a go of it. But here's what happens. So here's an example, McGregor Westlake Architecture. As you can see, I've clicked into their Laneway Studio project. And it's just a carousel of images, no text to be seen anywhere. Then you click on another one of their projects, the Old South Head Road Apartments, and as you can see, there's a bit of text up here, a bit more information down there, but I mean, the text doesn't really tell you much. And what you can see is that as you go through all their projects on their website, there's different voices, and sometimes the descriptions are in different formats, and some are without copy at all. And I've experienced it firsthand. When I was working in-house at an architecture firm, we spent weeks or maybe even months selecting which images should be used on the website for all the projects. We cropped and we photoshopped and we ummed and ahed, and then it came time to finalize the project copy, and I can bet you can guess what happened. Well, they said, "Oh, Nikita, just cut and paste whatever you can find on the hard drive. Surely there's something under award submissions, or just edit a similar project." It drove me nuts. And look, I know architects are visual creatures, but I believe it's time you start giving your project descriptions a little bit more love and attention, because that little paragraph that sits next to your beautiful projects can be transformed into a powerful story, one that is memorable and creates an emotional connection with your prospective clients. Another example, so this is 1055. And what's worse than having inconsistent project text is having no project text at all. And I see this so often, and it surprises me every time. So as you can see, they've got a beautiful grid of images. You click in and it says learn more, so you think you're going to learn a little bit more. But instead you're just presented with another whole carousel of images, no text, nothing. And look, they're nice images, but yeah, no text to be seen at all. Okay, all this talk of bad project descriptions is a bit disheartening. So here's a great example by one of the greats. Yep, David Chipperfield, and surprise, surprise, I think he's nailed it. So let's click into one of his projects. Now, as you can see, beautiful images presented against a white background, it's a white space. But down here, this is where it's cool. He says, read more. So what you're presented with is a nice little paragraph of text, but then you have the option to have full text, which has even more, or the option to download. So what happens is, as a prospective client, you're getting back into the driver's seat. He's handing the control over to you, so you get to decide how much or how little info you want. The right words can elevate your project because they give your project context. Rather than your prospective client mindlessly clicking through a carousel of pretty images, the right words can help direct your attention and focus. If you don't have any words, you risk your prospective client filling in the blanks themselves with their own preconceptions and ideas, which of course could be completely off or completely wrong. So use your words to tell the story behind the project. And look, as David Chipperfield goes to show, you don't need a large wall of, text. It can be just quite short and succinct. Here's another example. This is In Between Architects. I actually love what they've done. This is probably one of my favorites actually. So you click in, it says Urban Barnyard House. And also just a note on the page before, it said a selection of our projects. And I really like how they say that as well, so you know it's not all of them. But what they've done is they've done little paragraphs of text, but what's clever is they've got these amazing subheadings. So for example, it starts off with, the challenge, flexible space that will adapt as your family needs, and just a nice, easy to read paragraph. And then it goes into what if, ... And they talk about the client and the brief. And even words like love of the first cuppa of the day suggested the kitchen and dining room table should be bathed in morning light. It tells this beautiful story and it works so well with the images they've chosen too. And then hit with a testimonial from the owners, which is just, it's brilliant. Again, it's that social proof and the owners are saying this. And then they finish it off with 3 benefits, listing kind of the features, but the benefits behind the project as well. So as a potential client, you're taken through a journey and you start to envision yourself in these pictures. And an extra 10 bonus points for this down the bottom, the call to action, let's meet. I mean, it could be improved a little, but again, it's a great call to action because you get to the bottom and then you're like, now what? So when writing your project description, you should always think about your ideal client. What do they want to know? What would resonate with them? Don't fall into the trap of just listing all the features and that. What should a good project description include? Well, like Westlake McGregor, you can include a short table that summarizes all the client, the year, the scope, the basics. Here are 5 things you might want to consider including as well. So for example, instead of just naming your project, maybe include a tagline. And you can summarize the big idea and create, a short byline to draw your prospective clients in. And you can use this and be quite creative. Number 2, maybe you want to include a short outline of the client brief in a similar way In Between Architecture have done it. Tell a story about the clients and what they were after. Number 3, key benefits of your project. So as I said before, don't fall into the trap of listing features. Take that extra step and tell them why this is of benefit. For example, In Between the Architecture have said flexibility, open plan of privacy, living side by side. I think a lot of architects will just leave it at that. But they've gone that extra step and they've said, again, the large sliding door allows direct connection when needed and provides privacy when required. So as a potential prospective client, if you're thinking about using them and you're in a similar situation, you can be like, okay, this resonates with me, they get me, this is exactly what I need. And then perhaps another thing you want to include, number 4, is weave in an honest account or story. Tell them your challenges, tell them how you came across with this design solutions, share your approach. And number 5, social proof. I just think including quotes from the owners just goes such a long way. And just one last thing before I leave, I just want to show you one other mistake I see architects doing, and that is listing, every single one of their 243 projects they've been involved in. So I'll just take you through to another example. So Fullscape Studio. What I love about what these guys have done is obviously they've done way more than what is on this list. They've only got, I think, 25. But I love the way they've curated it. So what you should really be doing is not showcasing all your projects, but the ones you're really proud of, enjoyed, and the ones you want more of. By focusing their portfolio on the type of projects and clients they want to work for, they're going to be attracting the same types back, if that makes sense. So another thing to remember is when prospective clients come to your website, they have their project in mind. So when they jump onto your website, they are looking for something that is close to what they envision. Obviously, you can't control what they're looking for, but by showcasing the projects you want more of, it will attract clients that want the same. So for example, they might be looking for, a contemporary minimalist hospitality venue. So when they click on Patricia, I'm just waiting for the images to upload. Bam, this is exactly what they get. And this is exactly what they've been looking for, and this is exactly what you love doing. So it's a win-win. I'm going to show you. It's just done really well. So, okay, we've covered a lot today, but I just want to leave you with this. Please, please, please don't neglect your project descriptions. It could be losing you clients. If your project descriptions haven't been given the love they deserve and you don't have the time to do it yourself, well, you know where to find me. Send me an email at hello@nikitamorel.com and I shall see you tomorrow for day 11. Thanks, bye.